gonna swim, bike, and run. In the corner, sun. We're gonna swim, bike, and run. In the corner, sun. 2021.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome, everybody, to Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Clash USA, Credo Try, You Can, Hoka One One Velo Fix, Norma Tech Canyon Bikes, and, of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We just sent out 3,038 grants, totaling $5.1 million to keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. And speaking of challenged athletes, we have a young man who is hopefully going to make the Paralympic team, track and field team, Mr. Derik Smith, joining us. Derik, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am spectacular. So now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Burns, Wyoming. It's a little small town in Wyoming, but I recently moved to Edwardsburg, Michigan about 2 years ago.
Okay, so growing up, so 6 years old, you're playing a little football around the house and you slipped on the floor and sharp pain in your leg. And what did that turn out to be?
It came out to be pseudoarthrosis of the tibia, which turned out to be an amputation of the leg.
So, and when this first happened, they didn't realize that that you had cancer in the bone, correct?
No, sir. It took them about 2.5 years to realize that it was cancer of the bone.
So at 9, you made the decision to have your leg amputated. Was that a tough decision for you?
Well, as a 9-year-old, all I wanted to do was get back on the football field or the track. So as 9 years old, that's the only reason I wanted to do it. Now looking back of it, but as a 9-year-old, all I wanted to do was get back on the track. No, it was not a hard decision.
Not a hard decision. So that was April 24th, 2012. And coming back with a prosthetic leg, how hard was that for you?
It was hard. When I got amputated in April, I was back on the football field by August of that same year. So it was pretty easy. I just had to adapt to what was new.
And when you were competing in track, you were using crutches and potentially in a wheelchair as well during elementary school?
Yeah. So in elementary years, I was in a wheelchair. I also did Special Olympics for a couple of years, and I was in a wheelchair also for that. But yeah, once I got the prosthetic through Shriners, I was back on the track.
Very cool. And being back in the track, how special was that for you?
It was awesome. It was fantastic. I was in the wheelchair. I was getting dead last, of course, but then once I got the prosthetic leg, I was not first, but I wasn't last.
When did you first hear about Paralympics and start thinking about it as maybe this is something I can do?
So when I first heard through Paralympics, I was going through amputated blade rotor, ABR, and through challenge athletes, one of the criteria was to run with adaptive sports. And so through that, I just kept trying to get better, training for track, and now I'm trying to get on the team.
Very cool. And going from just a walking leg to a running prosthetic, and now are you in a running prosthetic now?
Yes, sir.
And how big a difference did that make?
It was a huge difference. To compare it, it would be like walking on a brick or a really tight shoe, and then all of a sudden having have an ankle joint again. It was a huge difference.
So what do you look at as your best events? I saw that you've done some long jumping, some discus, 100-meter. What do you see as your best ticket to get to Tokyo?
Right now, I would say either the 100, javelin, or 100, or discus.
So lots of options.
It is lots of options, yes. Yeah, it is a lot.
Will you be heading to Minnesota for the trials?
I will not. No, I was rejected. I was unable to have an international classification, so I'm unable to attend.
But you're 18 years old. You got Paris.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It would have been nice to be an 18-year-old in Tokyo, but it's junior national is coming up. But yeah.
And is the plan to potentially move out to Chula Vista and train at the training center?
That's a hope. Yeah, haven't really heard back from them yet. They asked, but I haven't I tried to email them, but they never got back to me. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm going to run to college at Hope. It's a Division III school, but then yes, that is the plan to go down to Chula Vista.
Well, and so did you meet Joachim Cruz down at Desert Classic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Joachim reached out to me and just told me how special you are. So I'm guessing that you're going to end up at Chula Vista because he feels that you have tons of potential. What do you think in terms? What type of times are you running for 100?
The 100 is 11:9 right now. Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not what I want to get. I want to get.
You want to get sub 11?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
On how fast are the guys going now? Do you compete against the doubles as well? So you would compete against Hunter Woodhall, guys like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you feel that they have an advantage because they're a double, or how do you look at it?
I don't know. I mean, when people come up to me and ask me if my blade has more advantage than people with two legs, I don't think so. I mean, I don't really know the dynamic of the two blades or if it actually does help you or not. But I don't think it is. I think you have to put the work into it to be better than them, and they have to put work in to be better than people with two legs. I mean,
exactly. It's fascinating to me. I remember years ago watching, Oscar Pistorius and watching other guys run, and when people were talking about them having an advantage, I would be like, you mean it's an advantage to have something that can fly off while you're running? I remember Blake Leeper losing a leg while he was running 100. And I'm going, I don't think that's an advantage when you're running, the 12, 13, 14, 15 miles an hour and your leg can fly off. Have you had that happen where your legs come off?
Yeah, it has in football and basketball.
So are you still playing football and basketball, or is all the focus now on track and field?
Mainly on track and field. I had 5 offers to play football at the Division III level, but the plan is just to walk on football and focus more on track. But
so what's
stay
your
healthy
position?
For track.
Yeah. What's your
defensive
position
end.
in football? What's your
Defensive
position?
end.
Defensive end. Wow.
Yes, sir.
And so you got some scholarship offers at Division III schools.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's pretty cool. Was that a tough decision, not taking the scholarship offers? And
yes, it was a big decision. I had to realize what the future would hold in the track field and what would hold in the football, and how which one would go farther for me.
Yeah, and the reality is you could be running Paralympics for the next 12 years, right? You could be doing that all the time, where probably you're probably not going to play professional football or professional basketball at this point.
Yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about because you grew up basically being with able-bodied kids and competing with able-bodied kids with a prosthetic leg. Has training and racing with kids who share what you're going through, right? They're single amputees or double amputees. Does that open your eyes a little bit to what's out there in terms of, how good you can get?
Yeah, I feel like it has, but also I feel like I don't really belong in the able-bodied group, but then also I don't feel like I belong with the adaptive program. I just feel like there's too big like you're either adaptive or you're not adaptive, and I don't feel like I'm not good enough for the able-bodied team, and I'm almost not really good, but I'm not better than the amputated with the yeah, I just feel like I'm in the middle.
You're one of those guys who but being in the middle means you can play in both worlds.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When you look at, because I've obviously interviewed a lot of track and field folks, but not a lot of amputees in terms of discus, because they're something like a long jump, you're running straight, 100-meter, you're running straight. But with discus, when you're twisting, is that an issue with your prosthetic leg?
It is, yeah. A lot of balance. I have to do a lot of balance on my right leg. Every time I go to the gym, I have to work on balance. It's a huge thing with discus. Discus is mainly technique. If you don't have the technique down, you can be strong you can lift all the weight you want, but if you don't have technique down, you're not gonna have the discus fly you like you want.
Well, and the javelin is power as well, but it's also footwork. So
Yes,
same
sir.
type of thing, right? Where your technique has to be spot on.
Mm-hmm.
When you were down at Desert Challenge, what events did you run down there? Did you do discus and javelin and 100-meter and all that?
Yes, sir. I did 100 long jump, discus, and javelin.
Wow. And how'd you do?
So the 100, I got a 12.4. I made it to the finals. Did a 12.2. But however, there's someone's leg fell off, so we ran the race, and I got a 12.4 again. And then for a discus, I got 35 meters, which is not my PR, but I was going against Jeremy Campbell and Max Rome, which is two great athletes. And then as well as Jeremy Campbell broke the record there. And then in javelin, I was going against somebody that threw 55 and I threw 30, which was my PR.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then long jump was not one of my better events for the games, but I did pretty good.
Good for you, man. Well, I bet you living in Michigan that you might look forward to coming to Chula Vista and being in San Diego for a number of months.
Yeah, get out of the snow and the cold.
Would the idea be to come out here and live full time at the training center, or would you just come out for camps or for clinics, that type of thing?
I would love to live out there on the training center. I mean, that would be my goal. With the nutritionist, tell me what to eat, training me, just having that full-time track schedule and getting the technique down for discus and javelin, and also getting the fully merged into the jump. And yeah.
When did you connect, or when did you connect with Challenge Athletes Foundation?
Sophomore year, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Through
Has the CF been helpful to you?
They have, yeah. They gave me money for traveling. They gave me blades for running. I think just one blade, but mostly travel, and then some equipment for training for iWest games also.
So what's the rest of your year look like?
Right now, I'm getting ready for Endeavor Games in Fort Wayne, and then also Junior Nationals in 3 weeks.
Very cool. And now, during the whole COVID thing, were you able to still, obviously there weren't any competitions, was it tough to stay motivated training wise when you weren't quite sure what was going to happen?
For me, it was not. I knew that this eventually was going to get over, so I wanted to get a jump on the game. I was able and fortunate enough to get a hold of a college coach, which gave me workouts and stuff to do Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays off. But yeah, during COVID, before COVID, I was running 14 seconds, and then after COVID, I was running 12s, mid 12s.
I was going to ask you how you improved over the last couple of years, and that sounds like it was the fact that you were able to be consistent with your training, with good coaching.
With coaching, yeah.
And what did the coach help you with? Was it just consistent workouts, or was it footwork? What was the message from the coach that resonated with you?
Well, the college coach he just gave me workouts. But me and Mom with YouTube and Google, we did all the technique work with javelin and the discus.
So you basically were learning it through YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's awesome. Now, have you spent some time chatting with Hunter Woodhall? As he's one of the guys years ago came on my radio show, and at that point he didn't even have any scholarship offers for college, and obviously got the first Division I track and field scholarship for an amputee to Arkansas, which was awesome. And now he's doing great things and hopefully going to his second Paralympic games. Have you met him, and has he helped you out at all?
A little bit. We met, me and him are both Shriners Hospital for Children in Salt Lake City patient ambassadors. Yes. So I met him 2 years ago, I think, 3 years ago. Not very much. I think we just shook hands and said hi, but nothing more than that.
I love it. Cool. And the goal is obviously to get to Paris 2024?
Yes, sir.
That is so cool. I love meeting young up and coming athletes. You're doing some great stuff. And I haven't met many guys who are doing 100-meter long jump, discus, javelin. You're a well-rounded young man. Is it tough to balance all that when you go to a track meet? Because you've got prelims and semis and all that type of stuff in 4 different events.
It is a little tough. I just got to focus on what I'm doing at the moment and then look at what I'm doing next. Just got to, yeah.
Do you see yourself running like 200 and 400 as well? Or will you focus mainly on your fast twitch guys, stick with 100 meters?
Yeah. So this season in high school, I did the 400 meter. In the past, I did the 200, but the 200 is just a longer race. I mean, I enjoy the 400 just because it's such a, if you're in the back, you can always get them back to the front again. I mean, it's just
right.
Yeah.
You got time for it to develop. You can drop back and play a little game. When you're doing 100, man, it's just all out, and it is not a hell of a lot of strategy. But the 400 could be pretty strategic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, sir.
I love it. Hey, Derik, a pleasure to get to meet you. Now, you're from football perspective. What do you look at as the best game you ever played?
Oh, I don't know. I think the best game I could play. I think I had 4 tackles, fumble recovery at the end of the game. Yeah, I mean, anything more than 4 tackles and a fumble recovery, you can't get much better than that.
No. Now, any in terms of the acceptance from your teammates and from other players on the other team, did anybody ever say anything about, hey, man, what's the deal with the prosthetic leg?
I don't think so. I mean, at the beginning of the game with the refs, they always asked, but my coach always carries around a little paper saying I'm able to play. But then other than that, they always say it's great for me to be out there and playing with them.
Love it. Hey, great to have you in our world, Derik. Thank you so much for taking time, and hopefully we'll see you out here at Chula Vista.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Derik Smith has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob, Not Quite Kona edition. We'll catch you next time. See ya.